Hey there, small business owners. Ever feel like you're always putting off updating your website? For most of you out there, building and maintaining an online presence can be overwhelming. Your day-to-day schedule can greatly impact necessary tasks like keeping your website up to date and planning marketing campaigns to stay competitive. Brand You Love offers monthly packages for website maintenance, marketing campaigns that help keep current customers engaged while attracting new ones, and social media strategies that keep you in touch with your customers. At Brand You Love, we do the legwork for you, so you don't have to. Contact us today at brandulove.com.
Welcome to Desert City. I'm Duke Walter, not your dungeon master. I play Ellen. Dean Martin Jr. is Kevin. Chris Freedom is Theo. And Jaz Abramowitz is the real dungeon master. Boy, the intrigue abounds. And Jaz is just so wonderfully creative with these encounters for us. It's his first time DMing, and if you go back to the different style of encounters that he's put us through, like the Sheeny encounter, where we had to play actors on stage and the roles influenced the audience response, and this new kind of political convincing that we're going to be doing over this episode and the next one. So very clever. I love the style that he has chosen. And I get really jazzed every time that we get into one of these new encounters that he has created for us. It's so clever. We here at TTRP Theater would love your support in any way that you can give it. We have a Patreon, but the easiest way is to, click all the things. Like, subscribe, comment, interact, all of that helps us. And we're grateful every time you guys spend some time with us. Okay, I have way more editing to do and a very short amount of time to do it in, so I'm going to jump out, but I want you to jump in to Desert City.
Wylam welcomes you in. Hello, our heroes are here. It's good to see you. Please, come in, have a seat. There's food and drink, if you would like. We have all been catching up for the last several hours. I want to put your mind at ease, and I will shortly discuss why we have all assembled here together.
Insight check.
Insight check. Sure, go ahead.
Fucking 8. 9, 8, 8 so far.
What is it that you were trying to discern?
I think more than anything else, Ellen, seeing this group of people here and then seeing Eos at the end of the table, I'm wildly concerned at that, at Eos's presence and Eos's state of being after seeing him the way that we saw him. If he's up and, seems to be fairly virile and awake.
What was the name of that creature?
Ericon.
Ericon?
That sounds like a formal name. I was thinking what kind of a creature had taken him over.
A fae. He's a
fae. Yeah.
So I'll tell you with an 8, when you scan the room and you land on Morningwood for a moment and your heart flutters with this anxiety, you look into his eyes and they are the same eyes that you've known your whole life.
Okay.
Kevin's gonna break all decorum, and he practically skips over to the orc, and he like embraces his hand and kisses the ring on his finger and holds it to his forehead, and he whispers something to him.
What does he say?
In Orcish, "Thank you for my life, Uncle. Thank you for my life."
Perfect. Theo, you understand, although it's quiet, so it probably can't be heard because it's a whisper. But you guys have never seen Kevin act quite this excited. And neither of you probably recognize Goresh, but he is a large orc with many tribal coverings, indicating royalty among the Orcish tribes.
Theo just impulsively responds to seeing Eos alert and is inclined to run over to him and put a hand on his shoulder.
You run over to Eos. He smiles warmly at you the entire time that you're approaching. You get to him, you embrace him. He hugs you back hard. He feels like he has his strength. And when you look at him, even his eyes seem less sunken. He has a vibrancy that you haven't seen in months. Yo, my boy. It's so good to see you. We will catch up. I promise you. I will explain as much as I know.
So he convinces me, right?
If you tell me.
Well, I don't know how to tell. I mean, can I roll perception? I mean, I guess I have passive perception of 15. I don't know.
Roll insight.
13.
It's him. It's Eos.
Oh, thank God you're okay.
Jazz speaking to Chris momentarily.
Okay.
Remember, you accepted a deal from Ericon. Ericon told you that he would vacate Morningwood's body for a favor later, and you said okay.
Well, that's not exactly how that went down.
That's kind of how it went. That's kind of how it went.
Yep. It's pretty much how go back and listen.
That's kind of how it went.
Pretty much how it went.
That's kind of how it went.
You were ambiguous-ish, but not ambiguous enough. Now, I'm not telling you as the DM if that's exactly what happened, but Theo would remember that. So that's why I'm reminding you.
Right.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So he said, I promise you we will catch up as soon as we can.
It's a huge relief to see you in good shape. Or do you feel okay? Is everything...
I feel as if a weight has been lifted off of me. Truly.
Wonderful.
But there are important things to discuss.
Of course. Of course. So Theo walks back over to join his friend, Ellen.
There are 3 chairs open on the right side of the table. Goresh looks over to Stellame, who's sitting next to him, and said, "You move over there." Stellame moves to one of the 3 seats without thinking, and Goresh motions for Kevin to join him. The other 2 seats that are open, other than Wylam's, which is at the head of the table, are in between Brecken and Cassandra.
I'll sit next to Cassandra.
You sit next to her. She gives you a nod and a terse smile.
Well met. Good to see you again.
Indeed. And Theo, there's a seat next to Brecken and Ellen. You would be in between the 2. Once everybody is seated, Wylam comes to the head of the table. As many of you know, I have long suspected corruption in the church. And it took me many years to figure out how to go about this. I want you all to be prepared. My newfound colleagues, Cleric, oh my God. What is it?
Ellen turns to Theo and whispers in his ear, "Here he goes, taking credit for fucking other people's shit again."
You're welcome.
What are they called? Not Dawnbringer. God, I had a momentary laugh.
Dawnbreakers. They're sorry.
Dawnbreakers. Dawnbreakers.
No, bringers. They're Dawnbringers.
Yeah.
These Dawn Jacks, whoever they are.
Yeah, these Dawn Johns. My newfound colleagues, Dawnbringers, Willow Chewer, and Morningwood, have helped me outfit this room in a unique way. It may be slightly jarring for a moment, but as soon as we get through that, we will proceed with the meeting. He goes over and closes the door to the room. You see Dawnbringer, Willow Chewer, and Morningwood stand up and start to cast a spell. Using their combined power, glyphs start appearing on the walls. Theo, give me a wisdom saving throw. Kevin and Ellen do the same, but with advantage.
13.
14.
5 total.
Did you roll twice? You have advantage.
Oh.
So roll twice and take the higher of the two.
20! What the fuck?
Jesus.
Hey!
Keep kissing that die, dude. Whatever it is you're doing.
Perfect. These glyphs go up on the wall. And all of a sudden, memories come flooding back to you. Memories that you didn't know you had. Not only memories of Sheem Key and Gravesick, but other clerics that you've known. Things that have happened to you that have been lost to time. Theo, go ahead and take 7 damage.
All right.
There is a flood of emotion and memories, Theo. It's overwhelming, and your mind lashes out at you a little bit. But all of a sudden, you remember as well Orm Gravesick. You remember Sheem Key. You remember Tenga. You remember everything. Memories that have been blacked out to you before have rushed back in. As you look around the table, you notice that many are having similar experiences. After a moment, Dawnbringer Willowchewer stands up. When that young man took to the street and put my former colleague Orm Gravesick's name on a wall, many of us had an awakening. This room is the only place in Calimport that is not subject to Sunrise Lord Dawil and Arakon's power. They have blanketed the entire city in magic that is keeping many of us shielded from the truth. I reached out to Wylam when I first saw the name, and the memory came back to me. I did not know who else to reach out to. We must take down Sunrise Lord Dawil, and we may need to face Arakon himself. This is the only place we can speak freely, and where we will not be affected by their blanket of power. I have asked you leaders here today to help me devise a way in which we and those who follow and love us to achieve this insurmountable task. Here's what we are going to do. Each of you are going to need to convince each of these people to join the side of going against the church or to assist you in some other task, whether that's going into the subterranean to get the God's Agate or whatever it is you think you want to do to combat this situation. You will have to do this through a series of persuasion checks, but each member has a feeling towards others. So if you go hard in convincing Goresh, then Stelamy may be offended and it will be harder to convince him. Whomever you end up convincing will join you on your task, and whoever you don't end up convincing will not. Any questions?
Okay, so I'm going to try to convince Theo.
Right.
No.
You got me.
Okay, Win. Yeah, he's out. He's going with you.
Yeah, but now everybody else is against. That's funny.
So are we having to convince Eos or Brecken in this?
It depends on what you want to do. So Brecken wants to take down the Sunrise Lord and Arakon, right? But he may want to keep the church intact. You'll have to talk to him to find out what his motivations are and what he wants. The same with Eos. So they all want to resolve this, but they may all have different ideas on how to do it. And depending on what you guys pitch them, and talk to them and figure out what their motivations are. So once you guys end up pitching the solution, that will determine the difficulty of the DC in your checks.
I don't know what path we have other than going after the church. I mean, the resounding group of people in this room seem to, want to destroy the corruption within Dawn Tower. I'm not opposed to that.
Ellen, I think our best path forward is to literally pick by might. Who's got the most power to get on our team?
In this room?
Right. And I think we just started the top.
Are these individuals coming with us?
Yeah.
So again, it is up to you guys to convince them to come with you if you want them as allies for whatever it is that you're planning to do. So when I say whatever it is that you're planning to do, if you guys decide you're going to do like a full-on assault of Dawn Tower, get to Sunrise Lord, kill him, or what, defeat him in some way, and then try and coax out Ericon and battle him, then you're going to need the power of some clerics. You're probably going to need some muscle. You're going to need some resources. All of these people represent some of those things.
Right.
If you want to go into the subterranean tunnels and try and go for the God's Agate so that you are powerful enough to take on Ericon or the Sunrise Lord, then you need to pitch that to them, and then you're going to need their resources for that. So if you don't want somebody's resources, you don't have to engage them. But if you give somebody the cold shoulder and somebody feels strongly about that person, it may make your job in convincing them harder. So it's all interconnected. You have a group dynamic here that you have to convince. They're not all just going to get on your side. It depends on what you want to do and what you need from them. Because what I want to do here, honestly, if you're open to it, is I am going to leave and I'm going to give you guys like 5 minutes to discuss what you want without me. And then when you go in and you try to convince them, I want to see how that plays out.
Okay.
Yo, what?
Obviously, Theo, I think you need to be the one to address Brecken. I think that you will end up with with the best working relationship and likely, have the easiest time as far as roles are concerned. Kevin, obviously, Goresh. I don't know where I land in this other than I have a reasonably high persuasion.
Well, I think what about strategy as far as like ranking the importance of who we woo? Because I think that's the most important aspect.
To me, it's Wylam, then Goresh, and then Brecken. But I say that out loud. And Brecken, Morningwood will probably be able to get us access to the church in some way, but having both of them on board.
About the God's Agate.
Is that what we're doing? Or are we going to try to convince the rest of them to go after the church and someone let us slip underground and we go after the God's Agate?
God, I mean, we're plotting here.
I think we have to get the God's Agate before this game ends. I mean, I don't know that we can do that independently, though.
Right. No. I don't think we can either.
I think you're going to have power to get the God's Agate. I think you're going to have might and power and politics on your side to get the church to come down. That might be a lot.
Yeah, but they've got to be in a crazy weakened state. You know what I mean, with the upheaval in the city. But that's also a distraction, for us if we are trying to get into the subterranean and trying to get through to find the God's Agate.
That is true. Maybe the goal is God's Agate, and I think that comes into play with defeating Ericon and what's his nugget.
What do you think, Dean?
I don't know that Kevin can expose his ties to the orc tribe.
Expose it to who?
everybody. I mean, he has been somewhat of a shadow agent for them.
Right. I think
You
I
just
think there are
kissed
ways
his
I think there are
ring.
ways to do that. But yeah, you just kissed the ring in front of all of these people.
Everybody in this room knows.
Yeah, but I'm talking the whole world. You know,
Why? How is the whole world going to find that out? It's not like Goresh or any of these people are going to walk out in the streets and go, "Okay, guys, we all just shook hands and we're going
Right.
after the church."
1, 2, 3, break.
That's
All right.
okay. So I think we need to convince Goresh for some help for us to go after the God's Agate, as well as some support
Underground.
from the orcs. Yes, I think we go
I think
underground.
I think it's two battles at once. I think we get Goresh to fight the battle on ground, and then we go underground.
Do we ask Eos to come with us underground?
I think we have to. I mean, he's going to be the most well-versed in, what we encounter.
So what about this? We ask Eos and we ask Wylam to send Gorn. We take Eos and Gorn, the three of us with the two of them, we go underground, and then we convince the rest of the people at the table to come together to hold off or take on the church on a variety of levels, right? Brecken from the inside.
And Mayhem on the outside.
Goresh and Cassandra on the streets, Wylam and his crew from the shadows. Wylam and Goresh probably, have similar power as far as what the clerics have, or at least something close. Cassandra can help with numbers, even if it's just the number of people can. There's only so many spells in a day.
Right.
I mean, that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. So what's the order of operations?
I'm back. I'm coming back.
Hey, hold on.
We need 3 more minutes.
We're rubbing each other's feet.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think that we start with Wylam, because if we get Wylam on our side, Wylam can help us to convince the rest of them. I think Wylam is the piece that ties all of these people together, right? Goresh with Kevin, should be a fairly easy pull. Brecken with you and with Eos should be a fairly easy pull. Cassandra is going to be tough. We called her toxic. We called her, you know what I mean? Like, we straight up called her out. And with the way that Erlani responded to seeing the name Orm Gravesick, I don't know if he, I don't know what kind of communications he has had with Cassandra. The one that probably has the most access to the routes or the place of God's Agate is Stellame. And Stellame Incatin, I don't know what we have for him. So that's why I think we need to go for Wylam first and hopefully have Wylam help get us some of that information from Stellame.
True.
And if we're starting with Wylam, Kevin, that's on you. You're the strongest relationship. If this makes sense, I'm not trying to be the dictator.
We have to be wary of turning off other people we didn't hit up, right?
What if I'm pissed at you guys and I say fuck you guys in public? I go get Morningwood and Brecken, and Kevin, you get Wylam and begin to pursue Stellame.
If we are trying to break up the boardroom,
Uh-huh.
I am worried at the unintended consequences of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think we need to be unified in our attempt to unify them.
Well, you're never going to unify them. He outset on the rules are you get your, and so you're never going to unify this group. You have to choose your bed partner.
I think it's Wylam and Brecken.
Or maybe we just let the rebellion happen on its own. And we just go the route of Wylam.
And just try to get to the God's Agate?
Just get to the God's Agate. And in the meantime, we can bark up Goresh's tree. And I've already got Morningwood.
Right. We go Wylam in the hopes of getting Gorn. We have Tramer, who we know nothing about.
Well, he's also an extra, so right.
Is he a red shirt, or is he, Conan the Barbarian in plain clothes?
God only hopes. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Right.
I would love for Jazz to pull that one out.
Well, I mean, he's a 7'9" orc. He's got to have something.
You're not wrong. That's great.
He's skinny. He's Sean Bradley.
Wylam, Gorn, Stella May.
Y'all got that reference?
I got that reference.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Sean Bradley still played in the NBA, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
He had an NBA career. Okay, so Wylam to Stella May. That's the play?
That's the play. And then if we get Stella May to start going our direction, we grab Goresh.
And then secondary becomes Goresh, and then we try to stir it up so that the revolt just keeps happening, and these people won't have a choice but to join in.
The people will come. I think the people will come.
Yeah. Well, 60% of them already are.
Right. And so really the only question mark, if we have success with that, is Brecken.
Right. Because Brecken will give access to the inside. And Wylam is in to take down the church.
Right.
How many of his resources he will put toward it, that's
right.
Undetermined. But
so what is... Okay. All right. But with Morningwood, I mean, we've got some access, right? Or is he banished?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either.
Dean, what do you think about that plan? Are you up to getting with Wylam and trying to convince Wylam and going that direction, heading underground, going towards the Agate? I would have spent time explaining to you what I had learned about Ericon over those 5 days.
Right.
And you saw that smoke. You know what I mean? I would have pulled your heartstrings over that for sure.
These are family ties he's got with Goresh. And Goresh planted him in with Wylam. He'll explain to Goresh their plan and convince Wylam as to not upset the orcs.
I'm ready whenever y'all are. Oh, there is one other thing I needed to mention.
Oh, bastard.
Son of a bitch. You just ruined all our plans.
I don't think so.
We just spent 15 minutes fucking...
Each of these individuals have a certain feeling towards you as individuals. So who pitches will make a difference.
Yeah.
We were already thinking that.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that was understood or not, but I wanted to make that clear.
For sure.
All right. Back into it. The table is proverbially set. You have these individuals whom you can convince to join your plan. They have all rolled initiative, so they will go in order, and then you can decide how you want to approach them, including skip if you don't want to engage them. So Brecken gets done with the speech and says, "You three have been very close to it. As we've spoken amongst ourselves, it seems you've had touch points with many of us here. You also have unique relationships within both the church, the common, and some of what I would consider the underground. We are all interested to know what you might do in this situation."
I have a question.
Yep.
Are all of the conversations taking place at the same big table?
Does it matter to you if it does or doesn't?
Yeah, is this all public discourse?
It is all public discourse. Yes, it's absolutely public discourse, because how you pitch one and who you pitch has an effect on somebody else in the room. And here's some of the mechanics behind it. So for each argument, the NPC can go either 5 up or 5 down. 5 up means they want to join your side. 5 down means they want nothing to do with your plan. If one of the characters hates another one of the characters at the table, and you go hard in convincing them with, let's say, flowery language about how amazing they are, that is going to potentially give you a point up on who you're convincing, but unbeknownst to you, a point down on somebody else at the table. There is a path where you can get everybody on your side. And you are free, each of you are free to do this on your turn. I'm kind of spitballing, but I think this makes sense. So the 3 of you will go in unison. One person will pitch. Other people can make insight, perception, or other types of checks to get a read on the situation. So one person will make the actual deception check or persuasion check. It's persuasion. One person will make the persuasion check. The other 2 are free to do what we might call different kinds of help actions to give your roll a boost.
Okay. I don't think any of that alters our path.
I just want one of you to roll group initiative, and that'll determine if you get to, if you roll the highest, you can choose who you want to start with. But if you roll lower, then you're going to fit, like they're going to reach out to you until it gets to your turn.
Kevin, I highly recommend you be the one that rolls initiative.
Yeah, got the high dice tonight. Let's do it. 17.
You get to choose who you would like to speak with first. So Brecken gives you this big speech and invites you, says, I think we would all be interested in what your ideas are.
Kevin, I would think you're speaking to Wylam, right?
I think Kevin speaks to Wylam.
I'll do an insight check. 16.
Nice.
16. What you know about Wylam is that he is going to be game for anything that involves corrupting the church, and the more violent, probably the more interested he is.
Wylam, we go back to when Goresh brought me under your fold. I've known you a long time, and everything that is about to take place now is all that you've ever wished for. We need you to create chaos in the streets, choke out the supply chain to the church, harassment and sabotage, and eventually we build this new church that perhaps will not ignore you as the other one has for so long. Wylam, you could come out of the shadows and be the leader we all know you could be.
Kevin, if what you are asking me is to do what I do, but at a much larger and more open level, then you know that I am interested in that. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. I got plus 520.
Dirty 20?
Yep.
Nice. All right. Do you want to know like where they stand as you go, like after you've completed the conversation?
Can they change later?
They can, depending on how you approach other people. There's already been changes.
Oh yeah.
Wylam is 3 up.
The only reason I would ask is that if we're going to keep track each time, then I want all the scores each time. And that's obscene.
That's obscene.
So do they go around and talk now, or how's it work?
Well, that has everything that needed to happen based on that approach has already happened. So this is the live feed. So next up in the initiative is Brecken. So that's who you guys will talk to next.
I assume I'm talking to Brecken.
Yeah, Theo, that's you.
Dawnbringer, Brecken.
Should I do an insight check before you get off on this?
That's a great idea.
See?
Yep. And Kevin, you can make similar kind of rolls. Just tell me what you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
Jesus. I can't roll for shit today. 8
What were you rolling? Insight?
insight.
Listen, you know Brecken's going to be pro-church in some way.
No help there. Got it.
Dawnbringer Brecken, we've known each other for a long time. I have the ultimate respect. I bow unto you. You have brought the light of Lathander into the lives of many people in a very positive way. I imagine for you, this has to feel like a lot.
I'm overwhelmed.
Of course, as am I.
Emotionally and physically.
Right,
And I fear for many of our colleagues,
as do I.
many of whom are under this spell and may not even understand the things that are being and are going to be asked of them. Concerns me, Theo.
Of course. And I'm concerned as well. And because of my concern, I'm all the more excited at the prospect of change and correction of the institution that we've known and loved our whole lives. I am devoted to doing the right thing for the genuine followers of Lathander and for those who may have other faiths, but who have strong ethical and moral compasses to do right by the people. I hope that your relationship with Eos and I, as well as Ellen, might be considered when you're considering how to go forward with us. We would love any support you could offer in helping us gain access, but ultimately that's up to you. I want you to know that it is not my intention to destroy the religion. It is my intention to correct the wrongs.
Are you simply asking if I will help you get inside the church?
I don't know what the ask is yet, to be honest. The truth is I just know you're resourceful. I know you're connected. I know you have access. And it may be that there's a time when we have to get inside to access.
I'm sorry, young Theo. If you want the support of myself and the other clerics who have come out of this fog, we're going to need to understand what your plan is.
Of course.
I
Absolutely.
cannot lend my support to some. I understand that your intent, and I appreciate that, but I don't know what it is you're asking of me.
Ellen is going to open his pack and pull out the ledger, and he is going to slide it across the table and open it up so that it is open to the first page and push it in front of Brecken.
Okay.
This comes from the Sunrise Lord's office. It was hidden away. This is a book of information that you need to have in your hands. Read it through.
We just want to be united to the correction of what's gone wrong in the church. That's it. That's the extent of our plan.
I think we're all aligned.
Great.
That is also what I want, but I still...
That's a joy to hear.
It's not clear to me. But it's still not clear to me in what way will you require my support. If you would like my emotional support, then you have it.
Fantastic.
Go ahead and give me a flat persuasion check.
14.
I will think about this. I'll be interested to know when you need something from me specifically, but I'm certainly there with you in terms of spirit.
From the bottom of my heart, and certainly my soul, I'm honored that you would be with us. Thank you.
This is Desert City, a D&D 5e actual play produced by TTRP Theater. I'm your Dungeon Master Jazz. Theo is played by Chris Freedom. Ellen is played by Duke Walter. Kevin is played by Dean Martin Jr. TTRP Theater is a group of actors, artists, and gamers from all walks of life that play a diverse set of games in a diverse set of styles. We have a wide array of content available for free on YouTube. Search TTRP Theater and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Twitter at TTRP Theater. We'd love to hear your feedback. Comment on YouTube or tweet about the show using hashtag RenCityPod, that's RenCityPod, or follow us at the same handle, at RenCityPod. Be good to one another. See you next time.